Hello viewers, and welcome back to another Wings of Fire book review. This time it's book 4, The Dark Secret, told by the perspective of Starflight the Nightwing. So before I get into my thoughts, opinions, plot, or anything else about the story, just as a recap, the last previous book, The Hidden Kingdom, ended with Starflight being stolen, quote unquote, or they thought he ran away right after Glory became queen. And so then we start this book in Starflight's perspective where he wakes up in the Night Kingdom. But there's all sorts of stuff going on outside of that, such as in the prologue, the perspective is with Reed, and there's this battle between the Mudwings and the Ice Wings, and we can really get a taste of what the war was like, or what it is like. And so we see that, Reed is desperate to not lose any more siblings after the loss of their sister Crane, and that they believe in the Dragonets of Destiny, including their brother, to save the day. And so we can see, there are dragons grasping at straws here to save their loved ones and to find a better future. And so then we go back to part 1 of The Dark Secret, which is called The Secret Plan. And before I get any further with the book, for those of you who are new to Wings of Fire and want to know more about The Dark Secret, book 4, then here is the blurb, and it says, "In the shadows, trouble is brewing. The mysterious Nightwings keep everything hidden, from their home and their queen to their alliance in the war. Now they've kidnapped their own Dragon of Destiny, and Starflight is finally meeting the rest of his tribe, whether he wants to or not. The Nightwings have also kidnapped several innocent Rainwings, now trapped in the dark, barren, miserable place that is the Nightwing Kingdom. Starflight wants to help the Rainwings, but he's busy saving his own scales and trying to find a way back to his friends. The fate of 2 kingdoms rests in his talons, and with no one to save him, Starflight will have to find a way to be brave before it's too late." So Starflight is kind of stuck in the middle with this situation where he's trying to, he wants to get to know his tribe, and before he thought it was this great, amazing haven, even though they're, in secret, he's told that they're, all-powerful, and, Nightwings live up to their mysterious ways, basically, so, they act almighty and all-powerful and above the other tribes, but in reality, they're not like that. As we discovered in the 3rd book, they are on this nasty island, and in this case, Starflight got brought to the Nightwing Kingdom, and then we meet some Nightwing dragons right away, and Sunny, Starflight, we see that he has this adorable crush on Sunny, and that he's loved her for a long time, and I find that super cute and sweet, and finding that he has a relationship, or he wants to get in a relationship with someone he's known his whole life, and I find that pretty cute. And so the dragons around him, Fierce Teeth, Mighty Claws, Mind Reader, and I think there were a few others, but they find Starflight, and we find out that Fierce Teeth is Starflight's half-sister, and that she supposedly want to be the Dragon of Destiny, because Starflight's why am I here? And the Dragonets are because you failed. And that puts Starflight in a not-so-good situation here, and he sees, these dragons are, super skinny, their breath smells, and he's these dragons are living horrible lives, because there's hardly any dragonets. There's this dorm that he wakes up in, and there's all these beds for them to sleep in, but there's barely any dragonets to fill those beds, and it's really hard to imagine because of what Starflight thought before with how the Nightwings were almighty. But we do cut to the chase real quick because Morrow Seer comes in, because he's the dragon who brought Starflight in, and he immediately takes Starflight to the council chambers to where the queen should be, but we don't actually see the queen, which makes it really extra mysterious. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but we do see a dragon who might be an heir, who we later find out is Princess Greatness, and she basically speaks for the queen. They communicate. There's this like wall, and then there's like these peepholes for the queen to look into. And so the Nightwings in this council are all hearing about this Rainwing that escaped and attacked some Nightwings, and we all know that dragon is Glory. And so they specifically took Starflight to know if he knows anything about this dragon and what the Rainwings are possibly going to do, if they're going to attack the Nightwings. And Starflight figures out that like these dragons are desperate. They want a home, and he later figures out that the Nightwings want to invade the Rainforest Kingdom because their volcano and like the island is horrible. They're slowly dying off, and they need a new home to live in, and they are trying to invade the Rainforest Kingdom for this reason. And we later see that the reason why they're capturing Rainwings is because they found out that they have venom, and they're like, okay, this isn't going to be as easy as we thought, because they all think that Rainwings are just butterflies and they don't matter. But they're apparently harder to fight than we thought, so they basically pressure Starflight into saying that they're going to attack. And he revealed the secret that the Rainwings are going to come to the Nightwing Kingdom, and he's like, I just betrayed Glory, and he feels so guilty from this. And so he tries to conceal himself as much as possible by not betraying his friends, but to also not feel like an outcast to his tribe at the same time. And we get more examples throughout the book, and very early on, how determined and frantic the Nightwings are at saving their tribe. Because before Starflight gets taken away by Morrow Seer, a Nightwing comes in named Vengeance, and he sort of like blames Deathbringer because he didn't kill Glory and Tsunami, but because he brought Glory in the first place, he ended up being killed and thrown into the lava in the council. So we can see how furious the Nightwings are about them wanting to get to the Rainforest Kingdom. I mean, they just killed their own tribe member, and like Starflight is witnessing all of this, and Deathbringer barely gets out alive because he's trying to sound convincing that he's not betraying his own, but he gets sent to the dungeon. Deathbringer, we weren't sure if we could trust him in the third book, but we see that he's in trouble here. So there's a lot going on. And so Morrow Seer is ordered by Princess Greatness, well, technically by Queen Battlewinner, that's her name, spoken by Princess Greatness to sort of like see if Starflight is the dragonette that they want for the prophecy, because there's the alternate set. And so Starflight and Morrow Seer head out, and they try and grab some food in the forest, and he sees that like only so many Nightwings can hunt at a time because there's such little prey on the island. So they grab a dying albatross, and Starflight refuses. He's like, that's kind of disgusting. I don't want to like get an infection or die off of a disease or something. So, but then Starflight wants to know where his parents are, and we find out that his mother died trying to save a Sea-Wing from 2 Skywings, something like that. And when Starflight hears this, he's like questioning if like she just gave up his egg like that, and wondered if his mother was not so great like Tsunami's mother or Clay's mother. But he's still like grasping onto hope, like maybe she would have been. a good mother to Starflight. But Morrow Seer has questions for Starflight, like, are the Rainwings probably going to attack us if we come into the Rainforest Kingdom, and questions like that. And Starflight tries to reveal as little as possible about Glory and how dangerous she actually is. From there, Morrow Seer takes Starflight to meet the other false dragonets. And while he's there, and they go to this, like, dorm, they run into Fate Speaker, who is the alternate set for the Nightwing, so he's, like, the replacement for Starflight. And Morrow Seer's like, Fate Speaker, I didn't order you to be here, but she's all jolly, she's happy, she's like, oh, who is this? And, like, she does not care at all what Morrow Seer says. Like, Morrow Seer is intimidating, and I don't know how Fate Speaker's head isn't bitten off yet, but while Fate Speaker is talking, Starflight hears that she was raised by the Talons of Peace, and he realizes, like, hey, I am here because I failed. Because he's supposed to be, like, the leader of, like, the Dragons of Destiny. He's supposed to be choosing Blister as an ally, and we saw in The Lost Heir that she is horrible and just so evil all the way. And that we can't trust her. And so then that caused a lot of havoc, and so they just grabbed this alternate set because, you know, like, the Dragonets are out in the world now, and we need to get this plan to work and operate how it's supposed to. So Morrow Seer is really playing with destiny here and fate. And so by this point, Starflight, Fate Speaker, and Morrow Seer go into the labs, where Starflight then meets his father, Mastermind, and then there we can see why Starflight is so, like, nerdy and intelligent and not really known for his brawn. And what I really like is that, like, Mastermind, he's a total nerd, he really works in the science life, and Starflight appreciates this, that, like, he's not alone with being so, like, feeble in a way, but I found that pretty cute with how Starflight can relate to at least one dragon on this island, so that was a plus for me in the book. After that scene, Mastermind shows Starflight and the others their tools and armor to protect themselves from the Rainwing venom after they discovered that Rainwings have an ability that is actually quite dangerous and deadly, as we've seen in the previous books. And Mastermind is all over it, and Starflight quickly sees that, like, Mastermind does not have empathy for other dragons. That's kind of just who Mastermind is. He thinks everything is, like, fascinating, and he's more of, like, the science sort of lab, and he uses Rainwing as, like, lab rats, basically. And we do get to see a Rainwing, and one of them is Orchid, who is Mangrove's partner, and we can see that, like, they have a relationship. We didn't meet Orchid in book 3, but it's adorable to see another relationship in the Wings of Fire series. Moving on, though, with the plot, Morrow Seer does get Starflight and Fate Speaker to get with the other false dragonets, Flame, Squid, Viper, and Ochre, and Morrow Seer gives Starflight and the other false dragonets these tests to see which dragonets are better for the prophecy, because after the casualties with Blister, there's a false set, and so Morrow Seer needs to see which dragonet is better for this position. And so the first test, I can't remember the exact order of events, but there are several throughout the book. The first one is Morrow Seer literally orders the other dragonets to kill Starflight, and he was putting Starflight in a position where he had to defend himself or find a way to escape and get away. In this case, Starflight flies as quickly as he can, and he runs into some guards, and he kind of like tricks them, and he ends up hiding. And poor Squid and Flame, like they got caught by like 4 Nightwings, and then they got put in the dungeon, and Morrow Seer had to end up taking them out later. But that was the first test. The second test is they flew to the northeast border of the Skywing Kingdom, so they flew south. And so Morrow Seer wanted the Dragonettes, except for Fate Speaker, to go to talk to the Skywing guards and convince them to switch their ally from Princess Burn to Princess Blister, because the Nightwings want Blister to win the war. So they want to assure them that, like, they're the Dragonettes of Destiny, they're here, they're making this decision. And some of the guards are like, wait a minute, the Seawing was blue and a female, not green. And so then they start to see, like, hey, these dragons, they aren't supposed to be here, they aren't from the prophecy. But they recognize Starflight, and he tries to convince them, like, hey, we can help stop this war. But in the end, they end up getting slaughtered by the Nightwings because they don't want the word getting out about the Dragonettes of Destiny and how things are switching, and like the prophecy isn't actually real. And we'll get to that later. More things that happen in the book or later events is that we find a dream visitor with Fate Speaker and Starflight explore in a collapsed dorm or something of the sort, and they find a dream visitor where they can communicate with other dragons in their sleep. And I find that really cool. It is Animus enchanted, and we'll find out who later on in this series. And later on in the book, Starflight communicates with Glory after attempting to communicate with Sunny, Tsunami, even Kinkajou, but he ends up finding Glory in her dreams. And Glory knows who is using the dream visitor and what's an actual dream. And so Starflight, like, communicates with Glory like, hey, I didn't betray you guys. I wouldn't leave you hanging. And so then Glory's like, okay, we'll keep Tsunami on guard. And so that's how Starflight gets to the Rainforest Kingdom. Well, there are these other events that happen. Squid left, and so that's why, like, Squid is out. He hates the Nightwings, and he just left while they were still in the Skywing Kingdom. And later on, Viper ended up being killed by getting knocked into lava because there was another test brought by Morrow Seer, where the dragons were fighting each other. And Flame ended up getting injured, and so Starflight knows, like, he needs to be brave and he needs to stay strong, and so he tries to convince Glory, like, hey, I can make it, I can do this. And I like that Tui pushed Starflight into a position where, like, he's growing as a character here, and that's a plus for me. I really liked that, to see Starflight handle certain situations throughout the story, and I like that, and I loved his character growth. And so Fate Speaker and Starflight end up getting to the Rainforest Kingdom because they bring Flame, who is injured because Viper's tail barb scratched Flame's face, and so Flame could die. And so they bring him to the Rainforest Kingdom to try and find the antidote. That's how they convince the guards, and they go through the kingdom. And then Starflight reunites with Glory, Clay, Tsunami, and Sunny. But another cool scene happens in the book where at some point Fate Speaker and Starflight, they want to speak to the Queen. They want to find some hope in ending the war between the Rainwings and the Nightwings. And so they speak with Queen Battlewinter. And one thing that is really cool about Queen Battlewinter is that she lives in lava in a cauldron. And she lives in lava because when she was in a battle with an Ice Wing, some ice went down her throat, and now it's the battle between fire and ice that's battling for her body. So Battlewinter almost died, and she isn't, but she is in a very vulnerable state right now, and that is the whole reason why the Nightwings are still on the island and why they want to invade the rainforest, is because Battlewinter's their queen. She wants to lead them, And because she can't leave the lava, they're kind of stuck on the island. And her design sounds so cool. Her voice sounds like all crackly, like icicles snapping. It is really, really cool. She coughs like every few seconds. She says very few words, which makes her even more in like she's just like a presence, and it's really, really cool to read about. So that was all part 2, The Queen's Secret. And then from there we go to part 3, which is called The Truth. And so here is where we get into the nitty-gritty and we really see what's going on with the prophecy. And so after Starflight is with his friends, they plan to go to the Nightwing Kingdom to save the Rainwings and Deathbringer, because he's still in the dungeon. And so they they prepare the Rainwings to attack, and they use the blow darts that they used on Clay, Tsunami, Webs, and Sunny when they first got to the rainforest. So the Nightwings they don't die. And when they get there, they don't have to attack or fight any of the dragons. They just blow the darts and then they're out. From this point, Mangrove and Orchid reunite, and Glory reunites with Deathbringer. And then they want to meet with the Queen. So after they've released all the Rainwings, they want to go to the Queen to confront her. And so with that, Glory basically drags Greatness into everything, and from there repel against Queen Battlewinter, and Battlewinter does not want to give up her throne. She's doing anything to save her tribe, but she's not letting them be ruled by the Rainwings. Starflight came up with that idea. So the only way the Nightwings would ever live at all is if they bow to Queen Glory. I mean, after everything that the Nightwings did to them, they are going to bow to their new ruler, and Queen Battlewinter does not accept this. And so then she wants to kill Glory, and she steps out of the cauldron, and then she freezes to death because the ice wins over her body. And by this point, the volcano is erupting, and dragons are going to die if they don't get out of there. So all the dragons are in the scene. Mastermind, who is trying to make an armor, lava armor. They all get out of there. They rescue the remaining dragons, and they bring the Nightwings into the rainforest. After they give in and bow to Queen Glory, or they cheer for Queen Glory, and then Morrow Seer shows up, and this is probably one of the biggest and most important scenes in this arc. Morrow Seer says that, hey, I'm coming to the rainforest, see you soon. And Starflight, Tsunami, Clay, and Fate Speaker are like, no, you can't come here. We know you'd be lying. And Morrow Seer, he says the prophecy right there is fake, that he made it up in the first place. And we get hints of this with the false dragonettes. And Orchid, he comes in, all the dragons get into the rainforest, but they aren't letting Morrow Seer in after knowing what he's done. And Sunny is so distressed by this that she believes in the prophecy. She wants to have a future where she saves dragon lives. But Tsunami and some of the others, they take the situation differently, knowing that their lives could have been different. They could have lived normal lives if it weren't for this prophecy, knowing that it's fake. And so, but then the volcano erupts, and Morrow Seer gets blasted into this light, and this part, Starflight sees this blinding light, and then everything fades to darkness, and the dragon who reads scrolls can no longer read because he's blind now at this point. And so he gets brought to the rainforest, and he's next to Sunny, only it isn't Sunny, it's Fate Speaker saying that he was so brave. And then the book ends there because he gets shot with a tranq dart, and then the book ends. And there we go, the dark secret. the epilogue. The epilogue just prepares us for the finale, and we get to see Queen Glacier speaking with Blaze with how this war, and a war like this, death can hardly be seen. Then we switch to Blister, how the Sea Wings head to the Deep Palace after the attack on the Summer Palace, and how she wants to kill the Dragons in Destiny once and for all. And then we transition to Burn at the Stronghold, how she's gonna do whatever it takes to win the war and stop the prophecy for once and for all, so the war can just like keep going and there's nothing that the Dragonettes can do. And so that's it for this review, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Yes, I may have been a little bit repetitive, but I still hoped you liked this video. This book was a plus for me. Not my favorite book. It seemed a little bit monotone, but I liked what the author did with the elements given. And what I mean by monotone is like the scene. It feels like the same as Lost Air. Not that it isn't good, just not my favorite. But I still really appreciate reading this book. It was amazing. And I hope you enjoy some of my future reviews, guys. So be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you all later, guys. Bye.